Welcome to the edge between who you were and who you've become, the edge where people usually quit, but you didn't, the edge where it stops being about motivation and starts being about revelation. You've walked through storms most people couldn't stand in for a minute. You've tasted loss, rejection, silence, and doubt so heavy it nearly bent your spine. And yet you're here. That's not luck. That's not fate. That's the weight of your scars forming armor. That's the universe whispering that you were not built to break. You were built to become something unexplainable. Let's call it what it really was. It wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty. You've been ignored, underestimated, dismissed. You've poured yourself into things that didn't return even a fraction of your effort. You've been left standing in the ruins of your own plans, wondering if all this pain was supposed to mean something. And still, you kept walking. When your hands were shaking, when your voice cracked, when your heart was tired of believing, you still moved. That's not just resilience, that's evolution. You've eaten defeat for breakfast, swallowed disappointment without water, and faced mornings that felt like nothing more than a repeat of pain from the day before. But there's something sacred in that kind of suffering, something few ever discover. It refines you. It strips away illusions. It burns off the unnecessary. And what's left is something terrifyingly pure, clarity. When you have nothing left to lose, you stop pretending. You stop living for applause. You stop chasing validation. You begin to chase truth. You've reached the place where comfort is no longer an option. You know what it feels like to lose everything that made you feel safe. You've met the version of yourself that didn't want to get out of bed, the one who questioned everything, and you stood up anyway. That moment, right there, is when everything changed. That's when you stopped existing and started becoming. People think strength comes from success. It doesn't. It comes from survival, from standing up when your mind screams enough, from rebuilding yourself quietly when no one is watching. You've been through moments that looked like endings, but endings are deceptive. They are not death. They are transformation. Every time something broke, you gained something else. Wisdom, resilience, depth. Pain doesn't come to punish you. It comes to prepare you. Every scar on your spirit carries a message. Every loss carved a room for growth. You were never being buried. You were being planted. You've seen what others haven't. You've seen how fragile people can be, how easily dreams can die in silence. But you didn't let yours die. Even when the light faded, you carried the flame yourself. You became your own source. You learned how to walk through darkness without needing to see the end. And now you stand at a place where you realize you didn't just survive. You evolved into something few understand. A quiet storm. A force that doesn't seek approval. A mind sharpened by truth. The world doesn't reward people like you immediately. It watches, it tests, it waits to see if you're serious. But there's something the world doesn't expect. You never stopped. Every setback became fuel. Every no became a whisper saying, keep going. You've learned that success doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from obsession. The kind of drive that doesn't fade when no one is clapping. The kind that keeps breathing even when everything hurts. Now, it's time for the truth. The truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your scars. You don't need to justify your journey. You don't need to apologize for changing. The world made you strong because it had to. You've carried yourself through storms no one else could weather. You've rebuilt yourself with trembling hands. You've held faith when logic said there was no reason to. That's your power? But here's the darker truth, the one no one wants to say. You can't go back. You can't unsee what you've learned. You can't shrink to fit the small places you once belonged to. Growth comes with isolation. Strength comes with solitude. When you outgrow your old self, the world feels colder. That's the cost of transformation. You lose comfort, but you gain freedom. You lose people, but you gain purpose. You stop chasing what you thought you needed and start becoming what you were always meant to be. You didn't come this far to survive. You came to dominate your own limitations. You came to break cycles, to end patterns, to rise above the noise. You were built for the moments when everyone else gives up. You are the living proof that persistence is louder than pain. You are the reminder that even when life tries to bury you, you can rise again every single time. Look back for a second. Remember the version of you that almost quit. The one who thought they weren't enough. The one who kept pretending to be okay while falling apart inside. That version of you still lives within you, but now you protect them. Now you lead them. That's what healing is. It's becoming the person you needed when you were broken. You've walked through fire, and that fire didn't destroy you. It refined you. It burned off weakness, fear, and doubt until only truth remained. That truth is simple but unshakable. You are unstoppable because you've already endured what was supposed to end you. The world can't take from you what you've already rebuilt stronger. You've turned pain into power, failure into focus, doubt into drive. That's not motivation. That's transformation on a cellular level. Now, you stand in front of a mirror, not looking for what's missing, but recognizing what survived. You're not chasing validation. You are validation. You are the proof that the process works, that the struggle was not wasted. Everything you lost was making space for what you are now. Every closed door redirected you toward the right one. Every silent night built the patience you needed to walk through the noise of success without losing yourself. People don't understand what it takes to keep going when you have no reason left to. They see the surface, the calm expression, the quiet confidence, but they don't see the nights you fought with your thoughts, the mornings you didn't want to face. You became your own savior in a world that tried to forget you. That kind of strength doesn't fade. It becomes your essence. There's something sacred about those who've been broken and rebuilt themselves. They move differently. They love differently. They understand pain in a way that makes them dangerous, not because they seek to harm, but because they cannot be harmed the same way again. You are that person. You've crossed the line from needing to prove yourself to simply knowing who you are. This world will keep testing you. It will try to pull you back into comfort. It will whisper that you've done enough. But you know better. Comfort is the slowest poison. You didn't endure all that pain just to sit still now. You're meant to keep rising, to keep creating, to keep building even when no one understands what drives you. You've learned that greatness isn't built in light. It's forged in darkness, in the quiet moments when no one believes in you, but you keep going anyway. So here's your full download, the truth behind your persistence. You didn't survive because you were lucky. You survived because you were chosen by your own spirit to endure. You've been training for this moment your entire life. Every failure was an instruction. Every heartbreak was a redirection. Every delay was divine timing, preparing you for what's about to unfold. You were never behind. You were being aligned. When you ate dirt, when you fell to your knees, when you questioned if it was worth it, that was the universe stripping away everything false so that only truth remained. You've been carved into someone who doesn't need motivation anymore. You've become self-sustaining, self-aware, self-directed. You've turned pain into discipline, and discipline into destiny. That's what separates you from the rest. Now it's time to walk differently, to carry yourself like the survivor you are, to stop explaining why you're different, to stop minimizing your power so others feel comfortable. You've earned your fire. You've earned your silence. You've earned your peace. You don't need to seek the light anymore. You are the light that walks through darkness and keeps moving forward. This isn't the end of your story. It's the part where you finally understand the meaning behind it all. Every loss, every betrayal, every delay was not punishment. It was purification. You were being built for a bigger purpose, one that required you to know how to rebuild yourself, how to stand alone, how to see through illusions. That's why it had to be hard. That's why it took so long. Because destiny doesn't arrive when you're ready. It arrives when you've been broken enough to respect it. Now you carry a different kind of strength, the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't need to prove, doesn't need to shout, the kind that shows up every day with purpose, even when no one sees it. You are no longer chasing recognition. You are building legacy. You are no longer running from your pain. You are using it as power to your power. You've crossed the line between who you were and who you're becoming, and there's no going back. And the truth is, you never wanted easy. You wanted real. You wanted depth. You wanted meaning. That's why you kept going when everyone else stopped. That's why you're here listening to this now. Because deep down, you always knew there was something on the other side of all that struggle. Something only the strong ever get to see. That's what this moment is. Your confirmation that you were right to keep going. You've proven that you can stand alone. You've proven that you can rebuild from nothing. You've proven that your mind is stronger than circumstance. And now it's time to live with that truth. To stop surviving and start thriving. To create from the ashes of what you lost. To lead from the lessons you earned. You've done the hardest part. You kept going when there was no reason to. Now, you are the reason. This is your reward, not in gold or applause, but in awareness. The awareness that you can handle anything life throws your way. The awareness that pain doesn't define you, it refines you. The awareness that you are unbreakable, not because nothing hurts you, but because you've learned to heal faster than anything can destroy you. The world will see you and think you got lucky. Let them think that. They'll never understand what it took to get here. They'll never understand the nights you sat in silence, convincing yourself to keep believing. They'll never understand the sacrifices you made, the comfort you gave up, the faith you built from nothing. But you know, you remember, and that's enough. From this point forward, you walk with clarity. You walk with purpose. You walk knowing that everything you touch now comes from a place of truth. You don't chase anymore. You attract by being. You don't explain anymore. You embody. You don't fear anymore. You flow. The dark days gave you sight. The broken moments gave you strength. The lonely hours gave you wisdom. And now you finally understand. You were never meant to just make it. You were meant to transcend it. This is the moment where everything shifts. Not because something magical happens outside of you, but because something unshakable has awakened within you. The strength you once begged for, you now carry effortlessly. The confidence you once chased, you now live in. The peace you once thought was lost, you now protect fiercely. That's the real reward of your struggle, not the outcome, but the awakening. So when you look at yourself now, see more than survival. See power, see purpose, See the warrior that refused to disappear. You've eaten failure, swallowed fear, embraced uncertainty, and turned it into fuel. That's not weakness. That's art. That's mastery. That's proof that the darkness was never against you. It was your greatest teacher. You've made it this far because something inside you refused to die. That spark that told you to keep going, it wasn't hope, it was destiny. And now, destiny is calling you to rise higher than ever before. No more hiding, no more doubting, no more shrinking. This is your era of ownership. Own your scars, own your story, own your strength. Because you ate pain and kept moving. You walked through storms and kept believing. You rebuilt when no one cared, and now you deserve the full download. The understanding that it was never about winning, it was about awakening. The pain was never meant to break you, it was meant to reveal you. So take a deep breath, look around. Everything you see now, the peace, the perspective, the power, it's yours because you earned it. Not with luck, not with shortcuts, but with persistence that refused to die. You made it. And now it's time for the truth. You were never fighting for your place in the world. You were fighting to remember that you already had one. Now walk with that truth, speak with that truth, live with that truth. Because you didn't just make it through. You became the storm that no darkness could drown. You became the light that doesn't need permission to shine. You became everything they said you couldn't. And that, right there, is the full download. You made it. Now it's time for the truth. You were never meant to survive. You were meant to rise. And now that you've risen, the world feels different, doesn't it? The noise doesn't bother you the same way. The doubts that used to echo in your head sound smaller now, almost distant. You've reached that rare point where silence doesn't scare you anymore. It fuels you. You used to chase peace. Now you create it. You used to seek validation. Now you embody it. That's what transformation does. It flips the script. It makes you realize you were never the weak one. You were just surrounded by noise that tried to convince you otherwise. You see, there's something that happens when you truly evolve. You stop needing to announce it. You stop needing to prove it. You move in silence. Not because you're hiding, but because your energy speaks louder than words. People start to feel it before they even see it. They can sense that something in you has changed, that your presence carries weight now. That's what happens when you stop surviving and start mastering. You've become the calm inside the chaos, the one who doesn't break when things fall apart. You've learned how to breathe through storms, how to stand tall when everything tilts, how to trust yourself even when nothing makes sense. That kind of strength is rare because it's not built in comfort, it's forged in darkness. You've walked through nights that lasted longer than they should have, through moments that stretched your mind to its breaking point. But now you understand. Every second of it was necessary. The truth is, you needed the breakdowns to learn discipline. You needed the silence to learn self-trust. You needed the betrayal to learn discernment. You needed the rejection to learn redirection. Every single painful moment was a lesson in disguise, sharpening your awareness, molding your mind, cleansing your path. And now, you can finally see the pattern. The chaos wasn't random. It was the blueprint. Most people never get this far. They stop halfway when it starts hurting. They choose comfort over calling, but you didn't. You stood in the fire long enough for it to purify you. That's why your energy feels different now. That's why opportunities are starting to find you instead of you chasing them. You've become magnetic, not because you're trying harder, but because you've aligned deeper. You used to ask, why me? Now you say, thank you for making me strong enough. That's how you know you've grown. Pain no longer defines you. It refines you. It no longer scares you. It instructs you. You've turned suffering into wisdom, endurance into confidence, and chaos into clarity. You've reached a level of inner power that can't be taught, only earned. This world will still test you. It always will. The higher you rise, the more pressure you'll feel. But now you understand pressure differently. You know it doesn't exist to crush you. It exists to reveal you. Diamonds don't form in silence. They form under force. And you've been under force long enough. Now it's your turn to shine, not to show off, but to illuminate the path for those still fighting their own darkness. You don't have to speak loudly anymore. Your energy does the talking. People who once overlooked you will start noticing you, not because you changed for them, but because you stopped needing them. You've stepped into your own gravity now. That's what happens when a person realizes their worth. It creates a field around them that pulls everything meant for them closer. And here's the thing, no one tells you. Peace feels lonely at first. Growth feels quiet. Success feels different. There's no crowd clapping. There's no instant thrill, just stillness. But that stillness, it's sacred. It's the sound of alignment. It's the sound of you finally moving in rhythm with your purpose. And once you reach that frequency, you'll never want to go back to chaos again. You used to be driven by fear. Fear of losing, fear of failing, fear of being forgotten. But now, you're driven by vision. You've realized that fear is just energy waiting to be redirected. You've taken that fear and turned it into fuel. And that's why you're unstoppable now. Not because nothing scares you, but because nothing controls you anymore. When people look at you now, they'll sense something unexplainable. They'll see the calm in your eyes and wonder how you got it. They'll feel your strength and mistake it for luck. But you'll know the truth. It was built, piece by piece, in the silence of your struggle. It came from the nights you whispered to yourself, just one more day. It came from every time you showed up when no one else did. That's what makes your story real. You've gone from waiting for opportunities to creating them, from hoping for a break to becoming the breakthrough. You've become your own foundation. You've stopped begging for peace and started protecting it. And in that shift, you've discovered something powerful. Freedom isn't given, it's claimed. And you've claimed yours with blood, sweat, and unshakable will. Now you walk differently. You speak differently. You think differently. Not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. You know what it costs to evolve. You've paid the price in full. You've buried the old version of yourself with honor, and now you live in the skin of someone unrecognizable, stronger, wiser, grounded. That's the transformation people dream about, but rarely reach. You're not here by accident. You were meant to go through everything you did. You were meant to be broken, so you could rebuild with intention. You were meant to lose, so you could learn the value of peace. You were meant to face darkness, so you could discover your light. This was never punishment. It was preparation. Every time you were rejected, the universe was protecting you. Every time you were delayed, life was aligning something greater. Every time you thought you were lost, you were being rerouted. That's the truth of it all. You were never failing. You were being forged. And now you finally have the strength to see that clearly. So when the next storm comes, and it will, you'll smile differently. You'll know it's not there to destroy you, but to remind you who you are. You'll walk through it without panic, without fear, because you've already survived worse. You'll stand tall and say, I've been here before, and I came out stronger. That's what unbreakable looks like. Not the absence of pain, but the refusal to bow to it.